Hello, everybody. Welcome to Eden Fractal, meeting number 49. Today is Wednesday, May 10th. We're almost at a year into Eden Fractal. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm here with, well, everybody here is doing amazing work. I think you know if you've been watching or following along. We've been talking about last week's meeting and all sorts of interesting stuff going on. Anyway. If anyone wants to say hello, then feel free to say hello. We're a few minutes past the top of the hour, 16 UTC, and so we should go to breakout rooms as soon as possible. I'm just going to share a very quick presentation. I'll be like 30 seconds just to recap last week briefly and then show the 3 items on the agenda today. Does anyone want to say hello or say a quick word before I share the presentation?
Just happy to be here, as always.
Glad to hear, and me too.
Okay.
All right. So, basically, Eden Fractal, meeting number 49. In our last meeting, I published on the Eden Careers YouTube channel, Signaling Alien Worlds, and we explored a new pioneering proposal for alien worlds, and the delegates signaled consensus opinion that Lisa and Dwayne should be custodians on planet Ike. Congratulations, Dwayne's here now. Dwayne came back from a little trip, I think, and we've been talking with Lisa as well, so I'm happy to see that, and it was cool to see that proposal. We can get more into it, but of course you can watch the full video here to see how it all happened, and we can discuss it more in detail. That's something we were discussing before too. And then on the agenda today for after the Eden plus Fractal breakout room, Tadas made a proposal saying we should consider MC proposals as an important contribution in breakout rooms. He talked about how the MSIGs barely get approved sometimes, so you can read it here. And this currently has the most votes right now. He's urging everyone else to rank approvers appropriately so they're rewarded more, to incentivize people to reward it. Also, I don't know if Pascal's not here right now, but this is a discussion that Pascal proposed last week, and I asked him if he wanted to propose it this week again, and he said he was interested, but maybe he didn't get around to it. But if he's around, then perhaps we can discuss this about the EVM, should the ENF burn EOS EVM collected gas fees? That was a proposal he made last week. So maybe we'll discuss it today. And then I also made a proposal for a topic about signals games. I've been working on a plan to create new consensus games to help us cooperate better and express consensus more efficiently. I think it would be helpful. So those are the 3 topics on the agenda. We can get more into detail later, but now we're going to go to the break rooms, play some Eden plus Fractal. And that is that. We are 6 minutes past the top of the hour, so we'll go for 55 minutes, and we'll go for about in just about a minute or 2 past the top of the hour. Also, by the way, I forgot to present it here. I should have presented it too, but Patrick also followed up on his message. I don't know what Patrick's doing here. I don't know if you wanted to share, but Patrick generously contributed 1,000 EOS to help support the 100 EOS per week that people are receiving too. So thank you very much, Patrick. Really much appreciated. If anyone wants to share a word, Patrick's making funny faces, or if anyone wants to share anything, we got thumbs up. Cool. I'm ready to go into the breakout rooms too, so I'll start opening those up. But if anyone wants to share anything first, then feel free. And hope everybody has a great time today. Thanks again for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure to contribute to this Eden Fractal. I think we should respect the people joining and going into the breakout rooms, spending their time like Noam. That's very important to respect them. So that's why.
Excellent. Thank you, Patrick.
Okay.
Well, I just opened up the breakout rooms. We can discuss it more too in detail. I'd love to discuss it more. Sorry if we cut you off a little bit there, but just want to make sure we have enough time as well.
I think it's interesting. She's got a lot to be upset about, but I've been living with this ambivalent thing.
Yeah.
About being a US citizen and not being allowed to do things because of that.
I mean, I left Canada amongst other reasons for that particular thing. Like it's becoming more and more difficult to do certain things as a Canadian citizen. For example, 2 months ago, all of my crypto exchange accounts were all closed because I am a Canadian citizen. So they don't, like, all of them, like Bitfinex and Bitstamp and Kraken and all of them, close. And that's
I can't open any of those because I'm not just because I'm a US citizen, because I'm an Israeli citizen, which is worse. And the funny thing is, there are quite a few crypto companies based in Israel.
Yep. Yep.
But their accounts are either in London or in Cyprus.
Mm.
They're not in Israel because in Israel it's illegal to trade crypto.
Mm.
And the cause has nothing to do with the SEC in the US. It has to do with tracking money for funding terrorism.
That's what they say, at least.
and because Israel doesn't want to go back to the situation. It's not even the country, it's more the banks.
Mm.
There was
Right.
several years ago when the US sanctioned Israeli banks for money laundering, not because of terrorism, but because of tax evasion.
Mm.
And the banks are so afraid of it that even when it's legal, they won't touch it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's
side
see.
note, you mentioned terrorism responsible for the lack of crypto trading. In aviation security, Israel was renowned the world over for having the top security.
Oh, we do have top security in aviation security.
Because of all, I mean, in particular, because of all the things that they make, actually having a perfect record. It was times ago, but it needs to be. The region needs to be. But anyway, I'm not going to get into my political viewpoints.
I could probably talk about it for 2 hours, but we're supposed to be doing breakout rooms now. So.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation, but it's probably best to save it for later and make sure we have enough time to come to consensus about everything that we're here to come to consensus about. So first, if anyone would like to host slash moderate slash guide us through here, then that would be cool. I'm happy to do it if y'all would like. But if anyone else wants to guide us through and ask whoever wants to go first, then
I
feel free
nominate
to do
you.
so. Okay. Um, you may have thoughts. Maybe Dwayne feels like doing it. I remember Dwayne used to host all the Alien Worlds Fractal meeting, and he's back from some sort of trip or something now, so maybe he's feeling all fresh and full of energy as well.
Yeah, sure. Using my backup camera because the other one's not working. But yeah, for sure I can moderate. Everyone's
Okay.
got what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, I think 3 to 5 minutes. We want to take a bit longer. That's okay as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll just cut you off. You start going past 5. Who wants to kick it off?
Sounds good. Your camera does look a little bit weirder than the other one, but it looks cool. I'm just getting my thing together, so if somebody else can go before me, that'd be appreciated.
Lad, you
I
want to
can
talk
start it
about?
off. I can start it off. Mine's pretty simple. Yeah. I took a nice break. I too exited Canada 2.5 years ago. I too have had all my accounts stopped, and even to that, it's an aside. But even my Canadian account is just yesterday made me go through a lot of extra details, even though I've had the account for many years. I had a nice mental and physical health break. Went up to the highest mountains in Costa Rica, and I've been doing a little bit less lately and trying to find more space and going slower and not stressing about life as much, and really trying to find myself and see what I really want to bring to this space. And every time I get more into nature, I realize I really want to give back and really combine some of the beautiful things that make me happy every day and appreciate life and appreciate nature, and weave them into these sort of governance and alien worlds and everything else. So yeah, as far as really anything specific to this group, all I did was recharge myself. So I didn't do any specific work, but find it's really valuable to kind of realize how blessed we are. And I guess just one sharing, just kind of the high end sharing about life and being excited about it. As a younger guy, I was always telling people I was busy because I was working so hard. And I really thought it was manifesting a lot in my life. And people around you would say, wow, you're lucky. Look at all the things that are happening. And I just realized how lucky I really was. Our ego makes us think that we're the manifester and making all this really happen. And I had enough perspective on top of these mountains to realize, man, there's a lot of magic in our lives that really give us what we need. And if we just kind of open up to that, man, life is sweeter. And yeah, not to stress the small things. And the most important part of this group and the reason I participate is this community. 1 + 1 = 3 if we start, working together. So appreciate each and one of you, all the work you're doing, all the heart you put into it. And yeah, this is these small steps change the world for the better. So I'm really proud to be with you guys in this group. And yeah, I'm really happy and excited to be putting more work towards our collective goals in the future. For this week, I would vote me on the bottom because, yeah, I've been really just working on myself and not really helping the group. So, and with that, I will pass it on to Noam.
Okay. Which no?
Which gnome?
All right. Yeah, there you go. Yourself, Noam, 10. Is it 10?
10A, yes.
10, yeah.
Well, I'd like to echo what Dwayne said. I've been pretty much working on myself too. Some of the working on myself was looking up open source software programs that can design the kind of orbits that you can see in the background. So someday we'd be able to integrate them into an Alien Worlds or some other game playing organization, but that's mostly for myself. Other things, I was very glad to see that Vlad got the proposal in IKEA that would move fractals in. And again, I had nothing to do with it, but I'm glad to see that it's moving along. And as a whole, this is something I've noticed both of the last 2 weeks and even before that. I expect to get a pretty low ranking in this group because I know what the other people here are doing, and they're all doing more than I do. And I'm glad about it because I would rather spend an hour with people who outrank me on rating than spend an hour with people who don't and give me a high rating. So that's pretty much what I have to say for this week. So thank you, and let's hear from Marco or Vlad. Marco.
Thanks, Noam. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad to see Vlad's back. He was gone for what, like a week or two? We missed him. And just for that, I wanted to rank him up there. But honestly, I don't have political viewpoints except what Dwayne said. So up to the top of the mountain, get a view. That's why I go for runs, is that view. So he's number 6 on my book. You're going to have to fight me for that. Eden is nothing if it's just another online community. So bringing in special stuff. And fair warning, I vote him tops every week that I'm not there because when he goes up there, he reminds me and I don't forget to not do it with motivation. As for me, this week, again, centered around EVM. I saw Dwayne and a couple of other people at the Eden Genesis first working group meeting scheduling or whatever it is. And I hope that the fractal can play a role in it. I say that because as a community, we're growing. I just noticed that on the ENF blog, there's still a contest to reach 10,000 Discord users. We're at 14,000 plus. I mentioned that someone who runs the website to maybe get a new contest up there, or at least make it look current, because we want to grow. And I believe that EVM is a big part of that as far as the community coming in, and the fractals and governance are a part of that. As the Eden Genesis fractal mentions, it wants to grow or is looking to the future, and I believe the way EVM plays a role, the way the EVM progresses plays a role in that. For instance, at the node operator meetings, which I cover with summaries, there was talk about um, bringing in more miners for EVM and how that would distribute fees and how that would be advantageous. So this ecosystem community, whatever we've been planning on, it's growing, it's becoming more complex, and identifying the key features, the most powerful ones now and emerging, is going to be a big deal, I think, as far as getting things done. I noticed. I think I'm going over time, so I'm just going to pass and cut it short. But I noticed that a couple of farming pools, as far as the DeFi I mentioned, I was surprised that it was that was a big focus and just maybe a couple too many. But I did notice that it looks like whoever's developing, at least two of them, they look the same. And those little things underlying, picking those out will, I think, help everybody align to what's going on and getting the people who are most active and want to be here, getting them first, creating a greater positive momentum. With that, I'll pass it over to Vlad, following Noam.
Thanks. So the past week I've focused on two things. One is EOS DIN, and the second one is the Alien Worlds. So with Alien Worlds, it's pretty exciting. What we are proposing is to have them their own fractal, and we are approaching them through the planet Ike, where me and Gnome, we are custodians. And yeah, I've been working quite a lot on just the details of the proposal, just what to include in the Alien Worlds fractal. It's gonna be a little bit different than the Eden fractal, but yeah. So a lot of coordination just with Dan, with Rosemary, with Tadas, with Gnome, so that we are all on the same page. So yeah, that's Alien Worlds, pretty exciting. Also, I'm part of the IPF, the Interplanetary Federation, and they had a lot of questions. They did an interview with the members. I can share a link. Also, the IPF is just forming, they're trying to form a constitution of what is the purpose of IPF. So I've been sharing my thoughts with them. Quite a lot of writing. Yeah, that's on the Alien World side. And with EOS then, it's we reached a phase where contracts are done. Now we're finishing with the front end and linking the front end and the back end and preparing for a demo, hopefully launching in the end of May. So yeah, that's my contributions. Gnome, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Vlad. So I guess on my side, since I joined the Eden Fractal and I started participating in these political playoffs, I've explained to, I think, pretty much every single one of you, at least on one call and maybe a few, what I was hoping to do, which was essentially to fund developers that are building the tooling that we need for these sort of I guess like consensus game. I like how Dan describes them. I think that's what they are. They are consensus games. And I think we also have this opportunity, as I've mentioned last week, with Alien Worlds, which is a very large DAC that has interest in what we're doing. So these things align very nicely to me. So that's what I've been up to the last few weeks. And as Vlad was saying, this week we've cemented, I guess, our position on IEK. Now I think we can say we're fairly well entrenched in as the custodians of the DAC with Lisa as well, and I think Duane also will probably rise through the ranks once the proxy goes live.
I think Gnome froze.
Yep.
I think he froze.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry.
froze.
But yeah, I was saying now I think we're pretty well established on IEK. We have good influence there, and as the proxy comes online, that will support Duane and Lisa. That will further like cement our position, and then we can really rely on IEK as a way to fund a lot of these initiatives. So this week we also allocated the budget towards Vlad and Dan and Rosemary and Lisa and all of the good things that they're doing in the space. So we're going to keep doing that at least for the next few weeks. And on a more personal note, what I've been up to, I continue working on the instant finality consensus mechanism upgrade. That is essentially we're hoping that it's going to be part of the September release of Antelope. This feature now allows.
Oh, he froze again.
I'm so sorry. Like the internet here, and weather is beautiful, but the internet is crap. So you have to make choices in life, right? So, but yeah. So hopefully you guys can hear this now. And what I was saying is, on a personal note, I'm working on the instant finality consensus upgrade for Antelope, which now allows for a much wider range of consensus models to be possible in these blockchains. So we're really like we're expanding the realm of possibilities far beyond just traditional DPoS. This allows us to start experimenting with all sorts of different governance models, including fractal governance when it comes to selecting, let's say, the BPs of a network, or selecting the monetary policy of the network, or the process for upgrading system contracts, and so on and so forth. So these are steps in a very good direction, in my opinion, for the whole ecosystem, just to have the software, just for the software to have that ability to essentially allow the users to express more complex and more refined models of governance. I think this is really useful in the grand scheme of things. And other than that, I'm also working on expanding Alien World's core game mechanics. So I've been engaging with some of the let's say, like, key technical stakeholders, including Dakoko, including Michael Yates, including infrastructure providers that are currently operating there. And what I'm hoping to do is to build, to expand on what already exists. That's already very, very interesting, but to keep adding to it, to keep adding new game mechanics that will appeal to another category of players, that will essentially, like, reel them in and make them participate in this experiment. And I intend to keep doing that as well over time. Kind of go, let's say, like, bite-sized approach, like release like one new game mechanic, test it out, gather feedback, see what people like about it, and if the response is good, we'll build another one, and we'll keep iterating like that until we reach this vision that I have in my mind, which is like, maybe call it like Alien Worlds 2.0, but the general idea is like what I think Alien World could be, I want to build. And so far I've been getting very, very of support from everyone I've been discussing this with. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few months at least. And always happy to discuss that with anyone who shares these types of I guess like ideas and this general vision. So I guess I'll pass it on to Dan.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Neil. That's awesome to hear. And I'm really excited that you're working on all this awesome stuff and working on us with us as well. And yeah, thanks everybody. Awesome to hear. I was also just briefly reading. I just glanced at Vlad's article. It's interesting on Vlad, and I'm a simple man. I want to know the truth, so it made me laugh. But anyway, I'll get into my presentation, show what I've been doing to help out and stuff. Whoops, on the wrong page. I keep doing that. Okay, so cool. It's backwards for me. For whatever reason, I saw my mirroring screen thing going on, but I think it makes sense for everybody. So I'll start it now. Cool. Yeah, so as always, I edited and I produced the video. For this one, I got a bit more artistic with the thumbnail and made the concept about signaling alien worlds because I love how we're signaling opinions and consensus opinions and stuff like that. So as always, I produced the video and then published it from last week and then wrote a little thing here. And then there's also some timestamps and stuff here too. I also kind of organized the other videos on the Eden fractal slash videos, edenfractal.com slash videos page to include more recent ones. I haven't been doing show notes as much recently, but just publishing here so everybody can find the recent ones there. So I organized that a bit as well as published that. This week, I also, the past couple weeks, I've spent a lot more time with the MSIGs because there were some technical issues. So I shared some messages here and I shared some of these before last week, but I followed up about them and then actually proposed the MSIGs this week for 48 through, or 45 to 48. People can see there, and that's just kind of a high level overview of some of them. And so that's something I do every week and caught up with all those. This only executed, but that's a topic that Tadas brought up. I also proposed a topic too today about signals game. So I've been working on a plan to create new consensus games to help us cooperate better. And I think these games can be really helpful for us to send more signals more efficiently and express opinions a lot more efficiently. We could use tools like Consortium and the Notion API. So I've just been working on a presentation about how this can work that I might share later today or later in the meeting, as well as many things I've been spending a lot of my time throughout the week trying to figure out. So I think I've shown several people here. I've been working on a brand called Signals for a while, which is basically, it's inspired by Vlad's work with Consortium and his ideas about how Consortium can help people get better signals. This is stuff that I wrote a while ago, and I'll have to update this, but I have some basic branding, and back in the Ideathon that Helios hosted, I made a little video where people can learn more about where my thinking was there. But basically, I think that we can start doing this like very soon, and we can start with an off-chain integration and then gradually build it on-chain more. I also started working on article for games too, so kind of building up some art and making fun around it, and kind of explain the philosophy about how consensus games can help us be more efficient. Basically, everything that it's got public good that helps the community that should be rewarded in some way. And so more we can build up systems that reward people, the better. And there's also some philosophy about how like games, and there's this great book I've referenced a lot, How Play Made the Modern World, Wonderland by Stephen Johnson, and also a book called Infinite Games I've been curating to help explain how consensus games can be so helpful for everybody. But this is kind of a work in progress. But I just started to curate some of these this week. So one of the ways I mentioned Notion API in this proposal over here. So I've been learning a bit about the Notion API and about Notion templates. I think what we can do is basically feed in, and this is something I want to talk with you, Vlad, about, and also, or anybody else who's interested. I've been planning on discussing this, but I've been doing some research too from what I can with my development experience, limited as it is. But I know a lot about Notion, which is a no-code, basically. I think that with a no-code possibility of Notion, if we can get some basic hookups to the Notion API to the on-chain data. So I've been looking into how the Notion API works. It's quite powerful and quite productive. I've been watching some tutorial videos to see how it works. I figure in the beginning, I tried making a database basically. So I was testing out how this could work, and like I had some ideas about how we could make an algorithm for signal power where people can all have like some sort of voting power, and people get more voting signal power if they get elected as a delegate. I'm also thinking maybe delegates should be called captains to make it more playful and fun. And inspired by Jorge, we could have like pages for each person with dashboards. And then Notion also has button functionality. So there's a whole bunch of functionality. And then I started like just copying and pasting the respect and seeing how that could work and like figuring out the formulas. Basically, it has like Excel basically. So you can use databases with Excel kind of functionality where you can make complex formulas. And then you can put that into all sorts of interfaces. Like, for example, here's an idea of an art game where potentially people could like upload art or things like that. And people could have like a signal power that's limited each week based on how much respect they have or how much, if they're like delegates. And then there could also be proposals too. This is also inspired by you, Pascal, too. I know last Wednesday you mentioned it'd be great to have proposals earlier, and I completely agree. I wrote a bunch in response to that, and I hadn't had a chance to respond yet because I wasn't sure to respond. But this is one of the ways I've been doing it. Like, I figure we could have an ongoing list that's hooked up with consortium in some way, where we can have like people being able to see them all in an interface like Notion. So Notion could essentially act as like a front end for consortium and stuff. It's still, I'm not totally sure how it works, but I was just experimenting with how it can work with tags and all these different things and making it. I've also been trying out, I mentioned in the 43rd meeting, the workflows and templates from Thomas Frank. So I've watched a bunch of his videos and I got the templates that he built. I invested a bit into these and have been learning how it works. Like, he has a very comprehensive system. So I figure I can start making Notion templates like these that hook up for fractal joy games, even fractal games and so forth to help people cooperate. So that's something that I'll present more about, but that's kind of a general idea about what I've been working on a lot behind the scenes this week. Also, in addition, Pascal shared this article, and I saw it from James Mark too at Borgs. So I've been listening and learning about these ideas about how DAOs and places like Eden Fractal can cooperate and stuff. They're inspired by Dan Larimer's stuff as well. So I put together an article about that and have been listening to some of these videos to learn more, as well as creating this resource and responding to Pascal. I've also been learning how to edit videos in a more collaborative way to scale that up. So I've been looking into this app, which has better collaborative abilities than my current one. It's got a cloud thing. And I've also been looking into BBS as well. So I've been listening to some interviews and thinking that we could also kind of gamify BBS in addition to gamifying perhaps Delgary. And I saw you did Eden on Hive too. So I think more we can integrate like social media and asynchronous voting or asynchronous consensus and stuff throughout the week. I think that could be really helpful to make us more productive and efficient. So I've been learning about that. And then also I shared more information, followed up about the Alien Worlds from last week, and I did a bunch of research into it so I could curate it in a helpful way for the community. I watched the interview with Dwayne and Lisa. Thanks very much, Dwayne, for all that. I've also been in communication with Dwayne and also Michael from Alien Worlds quite a bit to just to figure things out behind the scenes. Also Lisa and Vlad, as Vlad mentioned too, there's a tweet that Alien Worlds put out actually for the AW Fractal pilot that I just saw this morning, so I figured I'd put that up there and I'll share that soon. But yeah, I've been working with Vlad a bit on that proposal as well, and I'm planning to help the Alien Worlds Fractal and host some like pilot meetings or second pilot meetings, and then also I participated in the Aqueduct as well, where I well, it's not loading right now, whatever, but I participated there. That's the fractal that Douglas is hosting, so I'm helping him get that going well too. And I'm participating with reinvigorating my music career, and so it's been really fun and exciting in many ways as well. And I've also talked with Douglas about the ideas for signals and Notion and stuff too. So I don't know if that was over 5 minutes. Sorry if I had to add my timer, but that's my presentation. So I hope you all enjoyed. Happy to answer questions, and I'll pass it on to, I guess, Dwayne. Back to Dwayne. I think everybody went except for Pascal. So I don't know if Pascal wants to share, or Dwayne, you want to go back to hosting / moderating now?
Yeah, let's hear from Pascal.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. I'm late today, so I don't know if we are 7 hours, so I may not participate in the consensus based on the rules. But I can share what I've been working on this week. Basically, I just introduced Eden on Hive with the idea to experience the process we have on Hive blockchain. Last week, I went blockchain agnostic in terms of contents. So I'm going with social file. Social file is contents with ZFi, associated with ZFi. So experiencing Eden on Hive also coupled with Dan's idea that Eden OS, the system, was designed to be blockchain agnostic. So we can deploy the Eden process on any blockchain we want. So I'm starting with Hive. It's gonna be for the first 3 to 6 months manually done as we were doing in Fractally. Each week we meet, we share what we have done in the social file sector. Social file is a vertical of blockchain, so it's very specific. I see the work
Is
that
it
that is
video
doing.
based?
Sorry?
Pascal, is it video based? Do you have to identify?
No, it's video, text, any content.
I have a friend that wants to remain anonymous. Can they participate on the Hive? Because they can't participate here because of the video. Can they participate on your Hive fractal?
Yeah, we're gonna be also public. We have some videos also, so it will be difficult to be anonymous. So I don't think it will really fit for his needs.
Okay.
Especially for the experimentation, it's new. So I see what Dan's doing in terms of contents, producing contents, videos, writing. I would love to just go on Dan's website and then just give him a $1 just a donation, so all those things is in the social file is things that is possible to make like cross community reward easy for everyone. And being like blockchain agnostic, I don't care if I receive Bitcoin or Hive or EOS. I don't care if somebody has Wax and he want to give me some Satoshis. So making it agnostic is one of the mission that will be focused on.
Dan is already on Pomelo. Can Pomelo be blockchain agnostic?
I don't know. At this point, it's possible. In time is possible, but since
they're introducing IBC on Pomelo to be able to receive contributions from other chains, for example.
I was asking mostly because we have both Noam and Vlad here, so they might be able to give us an answer instead of just wondering.
But I think they want to keep it on EOS, but they want to be able to accept projects that would be happening on other chains as well. So we're using IBC to do
that. In terms of hidden fractal, this fractal, last week I was pushing because I heard that some delegates, some members are not signing multi-sig. So I sent my intention to lower down members that are not signing multi-sig. I think we all have this responsibility. So if somebody is a delegate in this group, I'm not sure I will be voting. So if somebody is delegate in this group, I think that we should not be ranking him higher if he's not signing multi-signature. So just so the community should be aware of those kind of things. It's the minimum thing we need to progress in this fractal, in hidden fractal. So be aware of that, guys. So that's all. If there's any question, I'll be answering. The publication about hidden on Hive blockchain is open. So this week it's gonna be like interactions, question, answer, comments, suggestions. It will start when I have 4 people. The minimum is 4 to start the meetings. So as soon as I have 4, we will start doing it. So I will, at some point, I will ask the support of the community to help just kick off. It will be done online and also have an option to be done offline. Since I'm based in Montreal, in Quebec, so we planning to do some kind of offline meetings to reward and then to experience this process in an offline way. People coming, they are in a physical place, and then they share their contribution, what they are doing, and then we reward them with Satoshis, with Hive, or any token. Thanks.
Thank you, Pascal. Yeah, I'll just say that I think this is really cool, and I'm excited to collaborate with you on the Eden on Hive and help out however I can. And I appreciate you supporting my work as well and wanting to help support my work and SocialFi in general. I think that's a really, really important thing. So thank you, and looking forward to the next steps with Eden on Hive.
Thanks. I think it's Joanne. You understand?
I want to mention something that three of you said things that reminded me of a game theory theorem that's called Arrow's theorem. I posted a link to it on the live chat on Telegram, and it's one of the, if you're not aware of it, it's one of the things that can cause the most difficulties in trying to build communities, building consensus, building votes. And I think it's very important to be aware of it, not to give up, but to design mechanisms that can actually achieve the goals and to focus on the goals that can be achieved, so we don't end up making mistakes or trying to do something impossible because of the process. So this is for Vlad, for Noam, and for Dan, but everybody else too. But all of you mentioned things where I think it's important to try and avoid the pitfalls that are implied by Arrow's theorem. And
Well, thank you for sharing, Noam. I hadn't heard about this, so I will look into this, and I appreciate it. I think we should probably get to consensus soon because we only have about 15 or 16 minutes left to do it. But yeah, it seems very interesting. So thank you for the feedback and advice. Cool. I see joins muted, so I don't know if you want to help move us along, Dwayne, but I can also do it as well if everybody's ready for consensus.
Yeah, I think Vlad
are we
posted.
going to do the Telegram? I see Tadas already started it for their room, so.
Yeah, Vlad started up one.
Oh, Vlad started. Why don't I see it? Okay, got it.
Yep, you're here now. There's only one person who's not here, who is Marco. Marco is not currently here.
Okay.
Do you see the invite, Marco?
Now, the reason I couldn't see it was because I was inside Eden Fractal, and apparently Dogman, yeah, Dogman
Yeah,
had seen them, but you added Marco. Okay.
Yeah, I just added Marco. So Marco, you're in now. You should be able to see it at the top of your list.
Am I in the right room? I don't see you guys. I don't see you guys. Am I in the right room?
If you go to like,
in Telegram.
Yeah, I get that. I just saw Sapiens. Maybe the wrong one.
Yeah, it's called Fractal 49. You should be able to search for it, or
Yeah,
it should just be near the top of your list.
Yeah, that was there. Now I click the link, and now I see everybody.
You should reply to the Vlad's message.
It's just when I did it without that link, it's not nobody. All right, it's good.
We still don't see your username.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it. Sorry, guys.
Cool. Thanks, Marco. Oh, although now it's not going to work because Pascal joined, I think. There can only be 6 people in the group or else Spectrogram doesn't work.
Yeah, go with Pascal. Since it was,
oh, yeah. Is not 6 maximum?
6 is the maximum for Fractogram. I don't think it works with more than 6 people.
Okay, so I'm going to be observer, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Marco, I think you have to leave the Telegram group, yeah.
Okay. Let me just...
Okay.
How do I do that?
You know there's 6 now.
Vlad remove you, yeah. It's all good.
Yep, that's all good.
Okay, we see you now,
Thanks,
Marco.
Pascal.
Yeah, I put...
no problem.
And sorry with that.
That's a misspelling.
Okay. Wait, did you say your Eden count is spelled wrong, Marco?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how that works if somebody entered their EOS account incorrectly. But do you know how to resolve that?
If you just edit the message, maybe.
I'll ask Tadas.
All right, let's see if that works.
Okay, well, I guess we could just get started. And then in the worst case scenario, then when we actually enter it into the web app, then we can just change Marco's account name at that point. Cool. Did anybody have any questions or comments for anybody before we get into consensus?
I think we have consensus.
Oh, okay. I didn't even start voting yet, so I didn't see it. Okay, cool. Looks like we do have consensus on GNOME. And it looks like we have consensus on Vlad for level 5. And it looks like we have consensus for me at level 4. It is quite a quiet and straight to the point consensus process here. Of course, if anybody has any questions or comments for anybody, and we still have like 12 minutes or so we don't have to rush if anybody has anything they want to share or questions. Do, 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 do. Sometimes my partogram messes up on my computer, so I'm checking my phone. Does anybody know how much people have consensus right now? It's showing up incorrectly for me.
Yeah, right now we got 60% for GNOME and 40 for Mockingbird.
And
Okay,
one person has not yet voted, which is GNOME.
I was waiting to see which way it goes before I.
Okay. All right, so got consensus on GNOME there. Cool.
All right, I think we're good. That's everybody. It should automatically tell us number 1. No?
Shouldn't it automatically do that?
Yeah, there's no need to do it. It should automatically, let's say in the NFL, they have a term for a reward for the last guy chosen. Because otherwise, it would be going.
Maybe it has something to do with Pascal coming in, but that's okay. I think we voted consensus on that too.
Yeah.
We still need a delegate. Who's running? Oh,
Okay.
before that, I want to say, to repeat what Pascal said, if you're running, please commit to actually doing the MSIG. I don't think we need any more.
Well, just to be clear, this doesn't have any effect on the MSIG right now. The people on the MSIG, that was just manually set a couple months ago. And this is just for delegates who don't have any interaction with the MSIG currently. No, I mean, it's possible that they could in the future, but right now there's no interaction there.
Okay.
Who is currently a delegate?
I'm pulling up the spreadsheet right now, and
Perfect.
I can let you know that in just a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll share it in the Telegram live chat. And the delegates, so Pascal and Patrick from last week, Jorge and Tadas, me and Eric were elected 3 weeks ago, and Yom and Rosemary were elected 4 weeks ago. So Yom's delegate time is over as of this week, I believe, and then I have 1 week remaining after this, and Pascal was just elected last week.
Noam, would you like to be extended?
Not for this one. I had a chance a few weeks ago because I had a little break in the instant finality stuff, but now we're back into it. The ENF developers are
So
done
you're
with
not in the
the so
running.
no, don't have time, unfortunately.
Okay, that leaves Dan. Dan, I assume you are interested?
Yeah, I'd be interested in being a delegate again. I turn
Okay,
mine in
anybody else?
midweek. So, anybody else interested?
Emergency alert, alert Durgans. Quebec and alert, alert Amber, SPVM.
Pascal, we're hearing some sort of alert going on in
Yeah,
your
it's a
TV or
that's
something.
fine. Yeah, the
Mm.
it's a national alert, so it's fine.
SPVM is the police, man. Run.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, over here, an alert means there could be a missile flying on you.
Oh, yeah, no, there is a
Yeah, last few days have been pretty tense.
charge of
I'm far enough that they don't send missiles this way. And 2 days ago, the IDF killed the people who were trying to build missiles that would have put me in the range. So
Wow. Marco, are you interested in running?
Not this week.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
okay,
So
so I guess it's Dan.
we got Dan.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Well, sounds good. Thanks all. I'll do my best to represent y'all. No, I hope you'll be able to still join us. It's been awesome that you've been joining us for the past month or so. I really appreciate it. Although I know you got super important stuff going on with IBC, so whenever you're able to make it, then it's much appreciated.
I'll still swing by every now and then for sure.
Cool. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. All right, cool. So I think we reached consensus and everything. And everybody just remember, I don't know if Marco's name, if he was able to change it or fix it, or should we just do that when we enter it into the web app manually then?
Is the group number 2?
Yep.
I think so because Tadas sent number 1.
Yeah.
Yes, group is number 2. That is correct.
You mind sharing the link once again?
No.
Oh, it's
well,
it's right there. Okay, perfect.
yeah,
But it seems
it didn't work.
it didn't generate. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
happened?
something's wrong.
Is that because Marco entered it wrong, so it messed up everybody's name, or?
Yeah, right.
No,
Maybe
no.
because Pascal logged in.
Maybe.
No.
I've had it work in the past where there were 7 people, but 1 person left, and then we were able to make it work after that well. So I don't know if you want to just try it again, Bud, see if it works the next time, or I suppose we could try just doing it really quick again to generate it, or
But
I left. It says I'm out. So
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
No, I'll just pre-fill if you share your account names. No,
Okay.
actually, I can take them. I can take them from the chat.
you can take them from the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. And then you can share a link with us, Vlad, if you don't mind.
Hmm.
Cool. Well, we still have a few minutes left if anyone wants to share anything. I'll say thanks. It's cool. It's also great that to see you back here, Vlad. Hope you've been enjoying it so far and really excited about all the progress you're making with Alien Worlds Fractal and excited to collaborate with you there. And looks like a really cool article you have written about you in the IPF article as well.
Vlad, are you going to be sending us a
And
new link?
Yep.
Okay, let us know when it's out. Breakout room might be over, so let us know in the other chat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to report the consensus.
Yes, same here.
And sure, maybe some of you know as well, but I do have 100,000 trillium from the Alien Worlds grant to put towards the fractal for participants rewards. And then also I became a level 1 delegate in Eden with the same mission. So there's about half the funds there to put forward as well. So
Oh,
so yeah, so we got a
when,
little bit of
when
funds to spice things up.
okay. When does the Alien Worlds fractal start up?
I think we will be able to start in the end of May. Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be weekly meetings or
Yep.
video
And are
based?
you? I was gonna
Are
ask.
you-
Just I mentioned it before, but it would be really nice if we had a like 2 reputation systems, 1 per planet and 1 global. So I don't know if you guys are planning to add something like that, but that would be really cool if it wasn't there. If we had that dual respect system for it, so that you can gain respect on your planet and you can gain respect in the global ecosystem as well.
Mm,
that makes sense.
very
Yes.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be nice. That would require somehow to
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy if we just say that you can have a global alien world fractal, and then you have a fractal per planet, and then people can participate in one or both. We just keep the scores independent, and then maybe people won't participate as much in the planets because there will be like fewer people, but at the same time I feel like because the governance is also arranged by planets, it makes perfect sense to me to have both. You have the kind of
It does
interplanetary.
make sense. And it's important to have both so you can compare. If somebody's fighting for their planet or whether they're fighting for the whole game.
Yep.
It's important to have both and to see both rankings.
I think so too.
The question I wanted to ask was whether this was going to be, 2 questions. One is, will it be on video? And the other one, will it be synchronous voting or will it be offline voting? Because one of the issues I see with these video meetings is that some people just can't make it because of their time zone or work commitments or other things like that. And how can we be more inclusive? So, I'm wondering, we can continue. I can continue wondering after we join the breakout room. So
I have another call starting, so I won't be there. But I'm very interested in the conclusions of that discussion. So if anyone wants to just
I'm
like
sure
send me
as
a
the IT custodian, you'll hear from Vlad.
yeah. Well, if anyone can send me a summary, I'd love to hear it. So thank you everyone for this week, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Guillaume. I'm
Bye-bye.
looking forward to it. Hope you have a great week. And I know Vlad's working with Matthias on pseudonymity and fractals, so that could be really helpful. Looking forward to getting to that. And also just say thanks everybody for the great meeting. And Pascal, once again, I'm excited to learn more about Eden on Hive too, so let's discuss that again soon. Thanks all.
Yes, so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Four, three.
Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? It looks like Lisa's happy.
We just, Patrick just said, oh, I forgot. And then we switched out.
I forget to vote. Tadas, please. Fractalgram bot. Tadas, can you send me the link in order that I can vote, please.
It's in the same group. The link did not go anywhere.
Oh. We are saved by Tadas. We are saved by Tadas. Beautiful.
Technology
Okay.
help. Okay.
Cool. And
technology.
We love Tadas.
We're also hoping to be saved by Vlad right now, I think. We had an issue in our room where at
A
first,
CPU error. Yeah, that's a Vlad thing.
Oh, it wasn't a CPU error. We had an issue. I think maybe it was caused by Marco had entered his name with a typo in there, and then for some reason when it outputted the result, we were trying to fix it, but it outputted level 654321 with nothing there. So yeah, Vlad was doing it manually. He's going to send it to us, but I don't know if Tadas, you've experienced that before, or we can troubleshoot and figure it out later. But I figure out, here while we're here as well. So we're all learning.
Troubleshoot the Tadas is impossible.
There is probably not. It doesn't have anything to do with Pascal. It probably CPU error probably explains the problems that we both had.
Oh, so
Eric
maybe
has also
error.
a CPU error. Eric has also had a CPU error, and I was thinking it is because of powerup.io, but maybe it's not that.
I think what happened was Zach Gall from the ENF was previously covering everybody's transactions if they were Eden members on EOS, and I think he might have stopped that because I had to go to EOS PowerUp in order to pay for transactions. So perhaps that was it, or maybe that was, I don't know. I don't think Fractogram uses that though to just output a result. I think that only happens if people enter that to the blockchain.
I love EOS PowerUp. Go there when you have no CPU. Okay. Bon.
So yes, absolutely. Thank you for the promotion for EOS PowerUp. Thank you, and
thank you, Boyd. Thank you, John Boyd. Thank you, John Boyd. Yeah.
Yep, I met John since last week. He's an awesome guy. So he's doing great work with Boyd and PowerUp. But anyway, we should also probably get going with the scheduled topics and agenda and stuff. I mean, first off, if anybody wants to share any quick thoughts about their room, feel free to go ahead. But otherwise, I'll share the topics again on the agenda once again, and then we can jump into the topics that Tadas posed. Also, Pascal had one from last week, and I posed one from this week too, so we can kind of play it by ear and figure out what works best. But Tadas's topic will be first because that has the most votes. Shall I share the
So I cannot submit my vote, impossible, into my room.
Why is that? I thought you said Tadas saved you and EOS PowerUp.
No, it's not saving me for me. It's a transaction net error.
Vlad or Tadas, do you have any idea what is causing the issue?
Yeah, so EOS PowerUp, does it power up for network as well, or just CPU?
Yep.
I try again.
It powered up net for me.
It worked.
Thank you, Eric. You are a gem, an angel. Eric is an angel. Eric is an angel. That's beautiful. I love PowerUp. Okay, I go there. I go there. And see if I fade. I go there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, Pat, just go on there. I'll share the topics on the agenda once again so we can get into the Cagendas game without too much delay. So, presentation I shared before, but I can just skip over here to the topics on the agenda. So, Tadas made a proposal, or a top proposal rather, saying we should consider MSIG approvals as an important contribution to breakout rooms, and he wrote that the MSIG proposals, which distribute weekly rewards, are barely getting approved sometimes. The last few weren't approved in time within a week. They took a few weeks. Nevertheless, he doesn't remember hearing anyone present the fact that they approved an MSIG as contribution. MSIG approvers are currently approving an important function for Eden Fractal, therefore they should be respected, and Tadas urges participants of Amorphy's permission to be more active in approving the MSIG and then present it as contribution to breakout rooms, urging everyone to rank approvers appropriately so they can be rewarded with respect in EOS. Of course, Tadas can elaborate that more, but I just figured I'd read out there quick. This is one from Pascal too. So, like technically with the rules with Cagendas, people should propose it each week to be on the agenda. So I don't know if we'll definitely discuss this or if Pascal is still interested in discussing this, but we could play it by ear and see what Pascal and everybody wants to do. But this topic Pascal proposed last week about whether the ENF should burn EOS EVM collected gas fees. So I think after we discuss Tadas's topic, then we can check in with Pascal and see if he'd still like to discuss that. Or, I mean, technically we should, the rules is each week, but I think we can make an exception if Pascal still wants to bring it up. Interested to hear his thoughts, but interested to hear what everybody thinks about that too. And also I made another proposal too this week, so we could focus on this. Yes, I made a topic proposal about signals games, and I can share a plan about creating new consensus games that help us cooperate better and express efficient opinions more efficiently with tools like consortium and API. Just for a little bit of context too, Tadas made a post on the Telegram channel, t.me/EdenFractal, where he provided a bit more detail about this topic. He said it shouldn't take up too much time, he thinks, but something we should bring up. And then also you could see in the consensus results chat, and also edencreators.com/msig, we can see who's on the msig. But Tadas made a reminder to people on the msig here. And I had also made some posts and topics, and we do currently have four MSIGs on that I proposed a few days ago that currently have enough approvals, but nobody's executed them. So I'd also encourage MSIG signatories on the Morpheus permission to also execute it too, because that happened last week too, where we had enough actually. We only need 3 out of 12, I believe, or maybe it's 4 out of 12. But if it's not approved and there's a rather short expiration timeline, I asked about that in the consensus chat, or in the consensus results chat too, but there's a fairly short amount of time during which we can do it. So for some reason, we can only execute it at earliest May 12th, but then it expires on May 14th. So we only have like a 48-hour window or a 36-hour window or something like that to actually make it. So that's something that we can discuss to improve this technically to make it better for the future. But just to provide a bit more context on Tadas's topic proposal here, while I was sharing my screen, I figured that could be helpful to just elaborate on it as well. I see Patrick has his hands up, so I'll pass on to Patrick first before I do that. After Patrick, I'll pass on to Tadas, so Tadas can go in more detail. Or I suppose maybe we should go to Tadas first if it's about the proposal that Tadas proposed. Patrick, I don't know if I'm not sure what you're raising your hand about, but perhaps it's best if we best pass on to Tadas first, and then you go after. We can figure it out.
That's exactly for the proposal of Tadas that I raise my hand. So Dan, before that Tadas go, I encourage to say why it is important to approve the MSIG before that we go into the technicalities of the MSIG. I have messaged you, so maybe you can explain why it is important to approve the MSIG.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So
thank you. Yeah. I don't explain myself why, because I don't want to repeat why. So
okay. Sounds good. You're welcome, and thanks for the reminder. So yeah, I mean, so 2 things. One, I mentioned the edencreators.com/msig article, and also just the blocks.io account for eden.fractal, and then you can see who's on the Morpheus permission there and who's on the permissions. Back in like week 35 or something like that, we decided on who would be in the Morpheus permission to be able to approve these. And there's, I think, 11 people who can do it. And basically we do 1 transaction per week, 1 action per week, where we enter in the consensus results. I typically do that. I've done it pretty much every week to enter in the consensus results in a proposal like the ones I just showed you. So I just confirm that everybody did the, and everybody's result was the same. And then I format in JSON and I propose it there. And then after 4 out of 12 people sign and approve it, then we execute the transaction. And what that does is it sends out the EOS and the respect out to everybody who participated in the meetings. I think most people are probably aware of that. But for anybody who's not familiar, that's how it works. So we send out the 100 EOS per week, and then also the respect per week according to levels people got in the previous week. Patrick recently donated, as I said before, 1,000 EOS to that account as well. So 100 EOS per week, that provides 10 weeks of that 100 EOS per week. So basically, these MSIGs, they help it so everybody can get a little bit of respect and a little bit of reward for joining. And well, I said a little bit, I mean, it's not much EOS, but also I find the respect very valuable of the community and really appreciate everybody's respect. And I think that's really, we're doing amazing things. So, but anyway, I will pass it on to.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Patrick. And I
have
see
some
no hands up now. Sounds good. But I think first, though, it is Tadas's topic proposal. So I think if it's okay with you, Noam, I'll pass on to Tadas first and he can share and then you can ask questions. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Noam. and Tadas Pasandina.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so this distribution of respect based on weekly rankings is core mechanism of hidden fractal, and it currently has to be done manually, and it's for me it seems kind of obvious that it should be considered a contribution. Nevertheless, I never in any of my breakout rooms I never heard anyone present it as a contribution, even though we sometimes lately have problems even getting enough approvals. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring this up in order that yeah, we basically remember to respect the members who are reviewing and approving the MSIG, because we are performing an important function for us. Yeah, and yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Tadas. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, and I agree, and that's a good way to put it too. It is a core function. It's how the game works, because people have to receive their respect and scores and stuff, incentivize people and so forth. I pass it on to Noam now.
Yeah, I agree that it's important to have that done, but as far as I can understand, it should only take a few minutes to basically, it could be done by a smart contract, and I wouldn't respect a smart contract. So I think maybe a better mechanism to take care of this is to figure out who are the MSIG signatories, how they're selected, and how often they should be re-elected or reassigned, and by whom. And people who don't approve might have a reason not to approve. Maybe they have maybe they think something is wrong with the process. But if they don't even respond to questions, they shouldn't be signatories. One of the basic rules of running an MSIG is that if the person is not there to respond, they're not doing their job. They shouldn't be there. They should be replaced. It's the basic rule. If you're building an MSIG to carry out your will or to help you recover from an identity attack, and one of the people that you assigned to take care of your wallet is not responding, it's on you to replace that person with someone who would. That's the right thing to do. That's how MSIGs work. I don't think we should be giving people respect for doing something that a smart contract could have done. So that's what I had to say.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Noam. I'll pass on to Das now.
I agree with your point that we should be more, basically, we should be able to change the MSIG more often, and whenever, especially when there are people in the MSIG who are not approving it. We have to develop processes to be lean in that sense, that we can change the MSIG often and quickly. And it's not enough. Vlad's solution is a step in the right direction, but I think it's not enough, because it's not enough to elect people who are respected to be the MSIG approvers. They also have to be committed to approve the MSIG. So maybe some people are highly respected, but they don't have the time, for example. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Smart contract could do it, but right now, ideally, these people who are approving the MSIG, they check that, review it, so that then, for example, does not include any mistakes. Like we are all humans. He might include some mistakes. So then
I'm not arguing that it should be a smart contract. What I'm saying is, if this is something that could be done by a smart contract, and considering the very high contributions that I see every week in a breakout room, this is not something that I would give respect to.
Okay, so my point is that currently we don't have a mechanism yet to automate it using the smart contract, and currently Dan is creating the MSIG manually. Therefore, it needs to be reviewed manually, and that does require a conscious person who is able to review. And so,
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that this should get the top rankings. I agree that it's an easy job. It's like it's important and easy, but easy. So it should be ranked lower than contributions which are both important and hard, because there are not a lot of people who can do hard contributions. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring this up, that we should take that into account. We should. I'm not saying that it's the highest contribution, but it's something to bring up in the breakout rooms.
I want to say something about that. I used to judge robotics competitions. You might have seen that. And one of the things I realized as a judge is that there were some key words, key phrases. We had teams that would come and tell us how they brainstormed and how they did collaborative work. And they said all the right keywords. And those were teams that were mediocre. They did not get the highest ranking. Because anybody that had time in a 10-minute presentation to a judge to talk about brainstorming instead of showing us the results of the brainstorming was not as good as the ones who actually showed it, and it was obvious that they did something. The reason I'm telling this story is because anybody that tells me that they did MSIG is telling me that they didn't do anything better.
Yeah,
and that
yeah, but
hurt
see,
them in terms of the ranking. So
that's a good point. But see there we have, for example, people who are new and we don't have a lot of time to do any contribution, and some people feel bad to come into the breakout room and not have anything to present. So for them to start basically contributing at least something, that's a great first step. Like, it's a great small contribution.
It would be a great first step in the albedo stuff that you're doing for human-based blockchains, because there it would be sustainable. But for Eden Fractal, it's not sustainable. When we get a smart contract, that wouldn't be a working mechanism anymore, and introducing it now would just be misleading those people. They would be disappointed when that stops working.
So by the way, no,
I think you're right for anything that's human run by definition. When you have a human blockchain, you're absolutely right, but I don't think it fits in Eden Fractal.
well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I'll add here too. One, I think it'd be better to use our style of raising hands a bit more, just because Patrick's been being patient there. And then secondly, too, I know Tadas said that, like, it doesn't need to be a big discussion. So everybody, and I think Pascal wrote, all contributions are subjective. People value things differently. So we don't necessarily need to come to consensus about how much to value it. Personally, I think that Tadas made a good point. It's not like a huge thing to value, but it's something that I made a point of mentioning in my breakout room today. And just little things like that until we get smart contracts and stuff like that more automated. I think it's helpful to just share that and encourage people to do it, because we do need to have these working more. But I also appreciate your insights, Noam. I think also, like, personally, I think this isn't the most exciting discussion. I mean, I think it's necessary, and I'm very happy that Tadas brought it up, but I'd also like to get to if Pascal wants to bring it up again, and also my topic as well at some point. But I see Patrick and Tadas have their hands up, so with this, I'll pass it on to Patrick.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. That's not the most entertaining discussion to speak about that. And about this proposal of Tadas, I want to be very honest here. I don't see that as a contribution myself. That's something systemic what I expect, and I speak for me, what I expect as contribution into a breakout room, it's a real contribution on a project that you are doing, something for this hidden fractal or for EOS, something to promote us or to leverage us. So if I see only a contribution about someone stating, hey guys, I have approving this MSIG this week for me, sorry, that's something too much systemic. Now I speak also like this, because this 1000 EOS that I give sometimes to this hidden fractal, why I do that? Why I do that? Because I want to see those EOS into this hidden fractal smart contract account going to the people that are going into the breakout room doing their contribution. And I agree with Noam. It's great when someone into a breakout room is not only speaking, but is also showing a link, showing something that he has made. Just a link that the people then can see, because just speaking, no proof to check. So, and for me, the MSIG, the smart contract that we have, and Vlad has already implemented the thing, now it's just a matter to deploy. You can affect into the MSIG, you can do a rotation of the accounts to the active permission first, not the owner, to the active. We have already speak of that. And also, I finish on that because I am just not happy to repeat always the same thing, but on another hidden fractal that was the 38 or 35, I don't remember, I was proposing after an hidden fractal brainstorming session, we approved to renew our MSIG and remove the people that are no more approving and make new people into this MSIG. So those new people that have accepted to be into this MSIG, they have accepted to be, and some people have never accepted, never approved. So now, either you have just people committed into this MSIG and then approve, otherwise they are no more into this MSIG. Just first point. Second point, when you are a delegate into a breakout room, what is the role to be a delegate? If you are a delegate and you are into the MSIG, your role should be, not should be, has to be, to approve the MSIG. That's the role also of a delegate, to be committed with the distribution of the funds. Here we speak about distribution of the funds. We use this MSIG hidden fractal for what indeed? Just to distribute funds to the people that are joining the breakout room. We could also use this MSIG later on to do proposals because we use consortium. We could use also the MSIG to do proposal like ENF, the block producer. When they have to decide something, they do MSIG proposal. So that's what I want to see. So for me, give a carrot or give a little gift to someone because he has approved an MSIG into a breakout room as a contribution, sorry, that's ridiculous.
Okay. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, Patrick. I'd like to keep it moving along because I think that probably what we've shared has been helpful enough. But anyway, I'll pass it. I think Tadas has hands up next. Is that correct, Tadas? Or do you want to pass it on to Jorge next? Or
Yeah, I will be very short. Yeah, so this is not a proposal, Patrick. We don't have to reach consensus. I just wanted to bring this up because I think some people have forgot that this is a valuable job performed by. Personally, I forgot, so I just wanted to bring this up into this meeting. But it's up to the breakout rooms to decide who to rank and how to rank. So that basically, that's all I wanted to do here, and we can move on.
Yeah. Respect to you, Tadas. Nothing against you, by the way. Yeah, nothing against you.
Sounds good. Jorge, would you like to share some thoughts? By the way, Jorge, I saw you were doing a cool looking handstand. At first I was confused. I saw your legs are floating around. Like, what is Jorge doing over there? So glad you're getting some exercise.
Okay, thank you guys. Well, this is related, but a little bit also different. The conversation about the smart contract and giving respect to something brought to my attention something I published in a Hive post I did for the Genesis fractal back about a year ago. related to the following. You have two platforms for content creation. One is YouTube and the other is Hive. And YouTube is orders of magnitude bigger and more successful than Hive. One of the reasons is that on YouTube, you can create passive income based on the quality of your videos you create. Some people that created one video 10 years ago are still receiving income from that video. So about a year ago in the Genesis Fractal, I brought this to attention and said that people should be able to earn passive income from big contributions that they presented to the community. And I'll give you some example. For example, we are currently using the Fractal web app, which is a contribution that I think Vlad gave to this community several months ago. So we are still benefiting from this contribution. To me, it will be reasonable that he receives some kind of respect each time we use that app. And the same for Fractalgram, and the same for anything. The good thing of, I know it's hard to implement, but the good thing of aiming to do this is that it will create the incentives to keep upgrading these tools that we have. It will create an incentive for someone to update the Fractalgram or to make it more easier to work or to update the web app or whatever. What I'm trying to do is to bring this to attention again. So I know it's a long-term goal, but it will be great if some of our processes could be automatized in order to generate passive income, maybe in the way of Eden tokens or whatever token we choose, but that the respect of generating a long-term tool that we use each and every time could be earned constantly over time. Thank you.
Totally.
Thank you, Jorge.
I agree at 1000%.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. I have some more thoughts I can share in response to Jorge, and then in general, I have a couple more thoughts that came to mind, as well as some messages in chat. First, I'll pass it on to Pascal.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And then thanks, Jorge, for your inputs. Just a quick thought about that. The Eden OS process is not fair by default. And the design is not fair. It's a way for people to come together, share their contribution, and then let their peer subjectively value it. So maybe I didn't want that app that Dan developed. I'm using it, but maybe I didn't need it from the beginning. So it's I agree with you, but it's also I felt that kind of sentiment also at some time in the process of the factory. But I accepted the unfairness of the process. Okay, 1 week I will win, the other week I will lose. But if in the long process, averagely everybody wins. So it's I agree with you when you look in the short terms. So the last week I presented a proposal. It wasn't a proposal. It was a discussion I wanted us to ask as a community, as an EOS community, about the phase that EOS EVM has collected so far. It's a successful launch. In less than 3 weeks, we collected about 1.3 EOS. This $1+ billion in that account. And per the design, it was a very well designed process by the ENF, and they intend to burn it, understand the thinking around it. And then my point was to at this point on EOS, we are still trying to catch up with other blockchains. If we redirect those fees to the program that we have already, it will help us really grow and then catch up with the other communities. Pomelo, Yield Plus, Eden Fractal, it can really do a good job. So that's why I brought that point to the community to see how if we can do it, it's okay, because they already aligned yourself, the ENF aligned yourself to burn those fakes, you know. But those fakes could be if the community showed their support in this initiative, those fakes could come back to the community and then create a circular economy. We didn't expect those fakes, but they will burn it. I ran two polls, one on ENF. I would say 90%. They didn't want to discuss. They just want to burn the $1 million fee that collected. I ran another poll in our community, Eden Fractal, and then this is where I got most of the response for people that they want to discuss the issue. So that's why I'm bringing it to the community. We don't need to agree on it now. We don't need to go into details, but just to take in consideration that if we need funding, money is there in the EOS. EOS, the way it's designed, is a collective blockchain. $1 million, if they burn it, we will not have money. So I understand the rationale of burning it. I understand it, economically speaking, but we need, at this point, we need some funding. So why burn $1 million? So that was the initial thought.
All right, cool. Thank you, Pascal, for sharing your thoughts around this proposal. I also wanted to respond to another thing about the previous discussion as well, but I'm very interested in this too, and I really appreciate you bringing it up. I see Patrick has hands up, so I'll pass on to Patrick in a moment, and then I'll share my thoughts momentarily. I'll also share my screen to show a little more context of what you were speaking there, Pascal. And then also I'll just ask too, or remind people, the Telegram live chat. I keep meaning to remind people earlier about that, but there's been some good discussions in the Zoom live chat with Perry and Patrick and Pascal and Tadas and Vlad sharing different considerations about the MSIG and automating and so forth. So I would encourage everybody to also share that in the live chat as well, so it can be more persistent and lasting and can help guide us in the future. And for other people who are reading along, a lot of people don't attend the meetings or see this, but can read along there. So yeah, so I'll share my presentation there, encourage everybody to share in the Telegram live chat, and now I'll pass it on to Patrick.
Yeah, I am just disappointed with some things going on here because we repeat the things week after week. Why it is important to approve an MSIG, and then we have to justify again and again. Then we find pretext maybe in order that the people are ranked better. Now we give them an incentive by approving an MSIG, then they will be maybe ranked for that. No, where are we going? We have fantastic tool here. Now we are collaborating with Alien Board. That's a good news, very good news of the last episode. Very happy with that. We have to improve the tools. We have to build them into also Alien Board. That's great. At the same time, the people are funded to do so. Then they go back to Eden Fractal and we collaborate together. Yeah, baby, that's very nice. So because every fractal can be independent, but can collaborate together. Let's connect together. That's a big news the last week for me. This Lisa and Duane elected. Very great. So now here, what we have to do for me, stay focused on the tool that we are building and approve an MSIG. I tend to agree with Vlad when he say, it is written in the chat here, that indeed, because we have members with little respect in the MSIG, Tadas stating, well, we already had weeks where MSIG were unsigned. Yes, and also Dan was not signing. Sometimes the MSIG, at the really beginning, you were not signing the MSIG because you had no time. We come back to something very important, is the time. No, not everyone has the time to sign an MSIG. That's also me. Sometimes I have no time, and sometimes I don't want to sign. You know why? Because I want to see if others will sign. And now I arrive to the conclusion, indeed, that should not us to sign the MSIG to distribute the funds to the people joining the breakout room. That should be automated. And we should use the MSIG really to create proposal. We are not using the MSIG to create proposal. What is supposed to be an MSIG? Normally, it's for a group of people to make a proposal. We are not using the MSIG for what it should be normally used. We use that to distribute the funds. So the funds could be distributed automatically. I said that also because you know why? You know what? I am giving this EOS here into this community. You can see me as a sponsor if you want. Yeah, I am a sponsor. Today I was level 1 or 2 in my breakout room. I don't remember. And I want to be level 8 every week, level 2 or level 1. You know why? Because I don't want that we see me, because I give 1,000 EOS to this hidden fractal, to be seen as a good contributor. No, I am not. I am just respecting the people joining this hidden fractal. I want to see you succeed. I say you, not me. I want to see hidden fractal you succeed, because me, I am also creating my solution, and I want to collaborate with the contributor like Pascal into this group, like Tadas into this group, with Dancing Joy into this group. I see that as a networking group, this hidden fractal, a networking group where you meet people and then you have contribution, you collaborate with them. And the breakout room should be normally the place where you network. That's 55 minutes. That's long, the breakout room, by the way. That's the place where you meet the people, and normally where you should do your real contribution, not systemic things. The systemic things should be resolved by, we are in 2023, by the smart contract. I arrived to this conclusion also because I am seeing the thing more concretely also by Noam stating things, and others here like Pascal also. So sorry, I changed a little bit my mind. We brainstorm, by the way. We will have brainstorming session again. That will be nice. Okay, I stop here and I give to Noam.
Cool, sounds good. Thanks, Patrick.
I want to say something about Patrick's contribution. I repeat something I said in the breakout room, which is I'm glad that I was in the breakout room where I wasn't going to get one of the top ranks, because I would rather be in a breakout room with people who I respect a lot and just share my time with them than waste my time with people that would give me the highest rank when I hardly did anything. And I think that it's very important when you think about what Patrick just said, looking at it from the side, not from Patrick himself, and combining it with what I said. If we ever vote for Patrick to be the top delegate because of the money he gave and not because of the videos he posts, that indicates that we failed, because he didn't give us the money so we would give it back to him. He gave us the money for the reasons he just stated. If we
collaborate,
vote for what?
I give this money in order that this hidden fractal is understanding how it is important to collaborate, collaboration.
Exactly. So
yeah,
if we find ourselves in a situation where Patrick gets the top vote because we want to give him back the money that he gave to us, that's not what we're here for. And that's what I had to say.
Totally.
Okay. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Although
that's the reason, Dan, why I do that. That's the reason why I do that. When you will have understood that, really understood why I do that, and other also why I do that, maybe we could collaborate finally and move on.
Okay, sounds good. I still have something I want to share here, and I have a response there too, but I heard Lisa was saying something. It'd be great to hear from Lisa if there's something you wanted to add there. Was there anything you wanted to say there, Lisa?
We'll be happy to hear. I think Patrick got the lowest on the list, not for not doing anything, just because we had so many great people and it was competitive.
Totally, Lisa.
Cool.
You were respected into our home. I love you, Lisa. That's why I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an honor being, especially, just the 12 of us here. There's, I guess, 14 or however many people here, but everybody's doing amazing contributions. So, and I think Pascal mentioned something before about losing, but I think that everybody's winning every week. We're all getting respect, and we're all getting amazing opportunities and experiences to be with amazing people. So I agree and really appreciate that too. Although also too, I don't totally agree with what Noam was saying, and that's something that came up with the Janus fractal, and we discussed previously. Like, if somebody wanted to join and then give a large donation to everybody, I mean, like just for example, if somebody wanted to give the equivalent of $100,000 to each person in the group, I'd be like, yeah, that's great. That's really helping the group. So let's respect that person. And it's not like a deal or anything where we're saying take the money back or anything like that, but it just, that would be helpful. So I think to some extent when people make contributions, and I also advocate that too. I do think that Patrick deserves respect for when he helps the community financially, as well as all the work that he does with the videos and everything like that. So just to add a bit more color there, I do appreciate those. But Patrick, you can say no or whatever, but that's my perspective.
I agree with
anyway,
respect is respect and EOS, or tradable and non-tradable. I agree that financial contributions should earn some respect that's not tradable. How much
you're
that
right.
depends up
You're
to
right.
the fractal. You can't tell no. You can't say no if we want to respect.
Right.
You can say that you don't appreciate getting the money back instead of what you gave it for.
It's all up for the community side. We are a bit off topic though. So for one thing, Pascal brought up his proposal. We haven't discussed that yet, and this isn't directly related to the idea of. I mean, it's somewhat related, but not super related to the idea of. I think the main motivation in Tadas's proposals was specifically just to encourage people to sign those MSIGs and encourage people to respect people who are signing it, which is, and I appreciate the longer term focus on building the automation, stuff like that. But just for the time being, I appreciate it when people are signing those MSIGs, everybody can get the respect and so forth, and all the discussions as well. I've also got some slides open too, so I can share a bit more. And I had an idea about how we could potentially improve in the longer term with the MSIGs. So perhaps I don't see anybody hands up, so I'll share some of my thoughts here and also kind of bring it back to Pascal's point too, if anybody wants to comment any more on Pascal's topic or if anyone wants to talk about any of this. But first, I'll just share a little bit about what I'm thinking about here and just provide a bit more context. Perhaps I should have shared this in the very beginning. So presentation I shared before, but I can just skip over here to the topics on the agenda. So Tadas made a proposal, or a top proposal rather, saying we should consider MSIG approvals as an important contribution to breakout rooms, and he wrote that the MSIG proposals, which distribute weekly rewards, are barely getting approved sometimes. The last few weren't approved in time within a week. They took a few weeks. Nevertheless, he doesn't remember hearing anyone present the fact that they approved an MSIG as contribution. MSIG approvers are currently approving an important function for Eden Fractal, therefore they should be respected, and Tadas urges participants of Amorphy's permission to be more active in approving the MSIG and then present it as contribution to breakout rooms, urging everyone to rank approvers appropriately so they can be rewarded with respect and EOS. Of course, Tadas can elaborate that more, but I just figured I'd read out there quick. This is one from Pascal too. So, like technically with the rules with agendas, people should propose it each week to be on the agenda. So I don't know if we'll definitely discuss this or if Pascal is still interested in discussing this, but we could play it by ear and see what Pascal and everybody wants to do. But this topic Pascal proposed last week about whether the ENF should burn EOS EVM collected gas fees. So I think after we discuss Tadas's topic, then we can check in with Pascal and see if he'd still like to discuss that. Or, I mean, technically we should, the rules is each week, but I think we can make an exception if Pascal still wants to bring it up. Interested to hear his thoughts, but interested to hear what everybody thinks about that too. And also I made another proposal too this week, so we could focus on this. Yes, I made a topic proposal about signals games, and I can share a plan about creating new consensus games that help us cooperate better and express efficient opinions more efficiently with tools like consortium and API. Just for a little bit of context too, Tadas made a post on the Telegram channel, t.me/EdenFractal, where he provided a bit more detail about this topic. He said it shouldn't take up too much time, he thinks, but something we should bring up. And then also you could see in the consensus results chat, and also edencreators.com/MSIG, where you can see who's on the MSIG. But Tadas made a reminder to people on the MSIG here. And I had also made some posts and topics, and we do currently have four MSIGs on that I proposed a few days ago that currently have enough approvals, but nobody's executed them. So I'd also encourage MSIG signatories on Morpheus permission to also execute it too, because that happened last week too, where we had enough actually. We only need 3 out of 12, I believe, or maybe it's 4 out of 12. But if it's not approved and there's a rather short expiration timeline, I asked about that in the consensus chat, or in the consensus results chat too, but there's a fairly short amount of time during which we can do it. So for some reason, we can only execute it at earliest May 12th. But then it expires on May 14th, so we only have like a 48-hour window or a 36-hour window or something like that to actually make it. So that's something that we can discuss to improve this technically to make it better for the future. But just to provide a bit more context on Tadas's topic proposal here, while I was sharing my screen, I figured that could be helpful. But we have the MSIG article, which I mentioned, but changing the MSIG did take us a while. So we discussed this for many weeks. I have this edencareers.com/MSIG article where we discussed this for a whole meeting, probably like 3 whole meetings and so forth. So it's not that easy to change the MSIG right now manually. So I think Tadas's proposal is helpful for the time being to just encourage people who are currently there to sign it more. You can check out this article to learn more about what the MSIG is and what it does, and then all of the different meetings and who's on there and so forth. But just for a bit more context that I said before, but just so people can see it as well. That was the 35th week ago, so about 13 weeks when we decided those members. So I appreciate Tadas bringing that up. And then people mentioned automating the MSIG several times. There was some comment from Vlad that by the time the most respected members won't have little time to sign or won't have the time to sign. And he said that there'll be no need to sign the MSIG because everything will be automated by the contract. So it's great that people like Vlad and Gnome and Tadas developers are building solutions that will take some time. And on this edencareers.com/tools article, I wrote a bit about the different options for automating the MSIG, which I think it's a longer term goal. I mean, already Vlad built, and he built it in, I think, like week 44, something like that. He introduced it. So that's linked here where you can see the video of him introducing it with the community in the 44th meeting. And he also did an interview with Patrick on the Nova Crypto channel where you can learn about what he has there. And I spoke with Vlad, and it is possible to configure that differently. So it doesn't need 4 out of 6. You could potentially have like just 2 out of 6 of the people with the most respect to sign the MSIG, which might be something that might be a desirable change, but that's something we could discuss more in the long term. And then also there's potential, I was just thinking too, like there could be an option to elect another person other than a delegate to sign it. Because there were some discussions about, well, should the most respected people sign these, or should it be people who have more time or are more interested in doing it? It could be the delegates, because there is that Eden on EO system where it changes. And I know that Vlad was also working on that on the Eden Practice account, but that's another option too. There could be like election of signatories to sign it, but as Vlad said, it could be automated. So I just figured I'd provide a bit more context there. That's on the edencareers.com/tools, where people can learn more about the current systems and then what we currently have with the MSIG article. And then I also wanted to share in response to Jorge too. I've been following Kevin Owaki, who's the founder of Gitcoin, a lot. Patrick, we hear you speaking a different language right now, so I'm just going to mute real quick, I think. Okay, I just muted Patrick. I don't think he realized that he was talking unmuted. But yeah, Kevin Owaki shared an idea about like how, and there's now an Ethereum improvement proposal where developers could get some revenue from their contracts, which sounds pretty similar to what you're suggesting, Jorge. And there's also the EVM, EOS EVM that could potentially use this. Of course, the tools that Vlad built aren't using that, and there's not really much revenue involved.
From the live chat.
Yeah, sure. I'll post it in the live chat. Thanks, Gnome. So people can dig into that. I'll post it in a minute, but I think that's quite related to what Jorge was talking about. So I'll share a link to that in a moment, and then I'll also bring it back to a couple other things I had here, just in response to Pascal's topic. So I wasn't totally sure if Pascal was going to share it there, so I didn't pull it up in advance. But this is Pascal's topic that he just suggested here. So if anybody has any thoughts about the ENF burning EOS EVM gas fees, he wrote about how it works. I don't know if you want to, I think you explained this already, but feel free to explain it more, Pascal, if you want. And then he's talking about proposal for community discussion. What if instead of burning collected fees like other chains, EOS redirects them via programmable MSIG to community run projects like Pomelo and Eden Fractal and Eden on EOS and Antelope and all these different things here. And then there's also some more resources. Pascal had previously shared the open sourcing of the EOS EVM in the Eden Fractal Telegram chat. It's a very highly performant EVM that helps people build tools. There's some great tweets about it from the ENF as well. People can learn more about how it works and so forth. I can share links. These have all been shared in the Eden Fractal Telegram group recently, so I'm just bringing them back up again. And then I also shared in response to that, also from Kevin Owaki too. He shared some ideas about that were kind of related to this, about how blockchains or communities like EOS could potentially fund public goods with or fund public goods with fees, basically, from the EVM and stuff like that. And he said it's a hard governing question. It opens up the base level layer to capture, but perhaps our consensus processes could help decide things like that, and that could be a great way to fund. So I appreciate Pascal bringing that up, and I think that's really helpful. It also kind of transitions into, or at least provides a segue for what I was discussing with signals too. So I think that we can provide signals to places like the EOS community and the ENF to do things like that, because currently, like, we can voice that opinion, and well, just us saying it obviously doesn't do anything, but we can work together as a community to recommend it, kind of like we did with the EOS, with the Alien Worlds. So I can get more into that if we have time. I know we're 10 minutes away from the top of the hour, so I just wanted to share a bit more context about this as well for Pascal's proposal, and then some last thoughts about the MSIG proposal as well. So if anybody has any thoughts about that, I'd be interested to hear. I'll share those links in the chat now. And then, yeah, if anybody has any thoughts for Pascal's topic, I think it's a really interesting topic. Would be interested to hear it. Or Pascal, you want to add on to it, that'd be cool. And then at some point too, I can also share a little presentation that I have for the signals and how I think it can help with these things as well.
Yeah, just to say, I just checked the EOS EVM accounts, and then we have like $2.3 million sitting there, 3,000 EOS. As I said, the ENS plans to burn it, and then it's a manual process. So if we express our voice to the EOS community, I wanted to start in this fractal, but we have the ENF community. We can also go there and express our voice. So that, just to say, do we burn it or do we channel it to the project that are already running and that need funding? It's just we should be aware of it. We are the only one meeting every week, the only EOS community meeting every week. So our voice counts. But if we don't do anything, they will burn it.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For you, Pascal.
Yeah.
Have you approached someone of ENF and?
Not directly. I started by raising the question. It was not a question, just bringing it out on in the Telegram, the ENF Telegram group. We had some exchange, some per year, some per no. But I ran a poll on that group. But the general sense is, let's send it into Rex, the resource exchange, and let's burn it. Now, the let's burn it part, I understand there is a rationale there. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea, because when you burn new EOS, everybody's value. But at this point in the blockchain ecosystem, in our ecosystem, we need some money. We need some funds, to carry up. So it's
I very value this proposal to not burn those fees and to re-inject them for the project that the people are doing. We need money. That's not correct that just ENF is doing big moves with a lot of millions, with DWF Labs, with ENW, EOS Network Ventures, and all this stuff, EOS EVM, lot of money there, and us meeting here every week and doing our stuff. We are not, let's say, paid, because the hidden fractal MSIG distributing the EOS to the people joining the breakout room, that's not to pay them, that's to reward them.
It's contribution.
That's contribution, rewarding. But be paid. Now, how I can pay someone here? I can send money to Tadas again for this project Firmament, or I can send to you, Pascal, because I want to contribute with you. Otherwise, I don't send you money for sure. No. or to Vlad again for his platform with Matthias Schoenbeck, or to Dan for other project that he want to do, or Rosemary, or Noam, or whatever. But it's not correct that we have wrong incentive, because I see wrong incentive here with some things, with some proposal that we have here into the pot. And I see this proposal by you, Pascal, very good incentive because the money is reinjected where that should go, and that's the good part. That's the power of God that's going back in the hand of the people doing something. So that's what we want here. We want to create this tool, this precedent. And when I will interview GNOME tomorrow for my Antelope Swiss workshop number 20, I interview Guillaume GNOME from UX Network, Antelope Network. I will be sure to address this point, what he means himself about that. EOS EVM, lot of funds, a lot of fees generated. If that could go back into
thank you. Everybody, I think we should, even in the social networks, we should express our voice.
yeah.
It's a successful EVM. It's a successful.
Totally. Because
Yeah.
the video of tomorrow that I have with GNOME is totally oriented IBC, EOS EVM, UX network. And this video of this anti-lopsis workshop will be swarmed. We'll have a lot of visibility for this hidden fractal today, for hidden on EOS, for Pomelo, for Firmament, for all the projects that we are doing. So that's my contribution. But I am not even to say that into my breakout room because I do that since the beginning, and I don't want to be, I say you again, then I don't want to be a reward. I don't want to be labeled into my breakout room because I give funds. That's not the right word. Rewards for the people joining this hidden fractal. And that's a very well appreciated because you can count on your finger who is doing that, a part of you and a part of me. And then I don't say that the people have to do the same, for sure, no. But I do that because I want. No one is dictating me that I have to do. I will continue to do what I have to do because I love what I do and I know why. And I need no one to say that I have not the right to do so. And EOS, by the way, it's the everyone open society blockchain. It's public, permissionless. You can do what you want here. You don't need a permission.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that you want to help very much. And yeah, encourage everybody to help. But yeah, great discussion so far. And also thank you, Pascal, for providing more details about the EOS EVM and the idea about how we could fund public goods and fund communities like Eden with that too. I think that's really interesting. Does anybody else have any thoughts about Pascal's topic proposal here? I could share a bit more, but also my thoughts kind of transition into my topic proposal I had too, so I can share that whenever as well. But before I go and share that, does anybody else have any other thoughts they'd like to share about Pascal's topic or anything else on mind?
I just want to say that I support Pascal's effort to bring up these kinds of ideas that would fund the community, because this is kind of what the community has been trying to do for years. I mean, dare I say 5 years, is just try to get, how can we get money to the community at the base level that grows itself in a decentralized fashion. And so I really appreciate him noticing this as a potential source and suggesting it and bringing it here and organizing it in a proposal and pushing the idea. You know, I don't know all the details of exactly how that would manifest, but in principle, we need to figure out how we can get money to the people. Thank you, Pascal.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's push it. Let's use our voice because it's the community. It's your space. It's the community. It's our success. You know. So, and as I said, it's a manual process. If we don't express our voice, the ENF will burn it. They will. The intention is to burn those fees. And as I said, I understand that the thinking around burning. But at this point in our community, we are the only community having these discussions. You know, so if we raise our voice, each in our social network everywhere, say no, we don't want to. Even they channel, let's say they channel 50%, because now it's like 2.3 million. If they channel 50% of that amount in Pomelo or in Yield Plus, even on EOS, it's a lot of money that we can, the community can benefit. You know? Thank you for your support. But let's individually do it to try to catch up with the team there.
Yeah, I think those are excellent points, and appreciate you both sharing those details. Thanks, Barry, for sharing the feedback and ideas there. I see Patrick and Jorge have their hands up, and Rosemary also asked when are they thinking about burning it in the Zoom chat. Do you know, Pascal, when they're thinking about burning it? Have they put any timelines about that?
They don't have no timeline. When the event was designed, and the tokenomics was designed to burn it. So the ENF, they already have the decision to burn it.
Without to ask us, without to ask us.
It's manual, so
Ridiculous.
they can do it 1 month or every 2 months or every. It's not clear at this point. But the more we bring the issue, the more they can have time to reflect on that. So there's no time.
What is happening today into this hidden fractal 49? That's a precedent. I am happy because, as stated Gnome on the last one, that's not a rainbow here in Disneyland. You have to say the things when you want to say the things, and you have the right to say, really speaking, the truth here, and not make like if we are all agreeing that all is going fine. No, not all is going fine. And what is just stating Pascal is an example again of dictatorship. I respect a lot the people, for sure, by ENF, but there are some ideas that need to be challenged. When the things are automatic with smart contracts, sometimes you cannot stop them. But you can maybe incentivize the people to act in a better way. And that's our role also here into this hidden fractal, not only to create the tools, not only to create the best tools to reach consensus and then use that into alien world, create the protocols, to strengthen the process and all that. It's also to make sure that the people are behaving the best way that they can with heart, soul, and mind. So if we see something because we feel, without to know sometimes, because the intuition is our best guide. If we see something or we feel something that is not correct, because we know with all our heart that something is not correct, we should say it straightforward and then inform the people that they are doing maybe a mistake and inform them. So that's our role. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point to be into this fantastic ecosystem that we want to see? We are EOS at the base layer, everyone open society. So we have to inform when something is not in the good path, we should say. Also, if say the truth sometimes is not easy to hear. And it's not against someone in particular. It's to think about the global result, to be more cohesive, more inclusive, and all this stuff. So here, what you are doing, Pascal, shout out, because that's need the balls to say that. That's need the balls. When something is not good, that's need the balls to come and say. So we have to follow this initiative. We have to be this group that is doing this precedent. Not to say, hey guys, you see, that's hidden fractal that has this ID. No, just because we think it's good. Okay, that's what I want to say here. And now I stop speaking. I give to Jorge, the best Colombian in Medellin and the best guy in this group. No, sorry, one of the best. Thank you. Jorge.
Thank you. Related to Pascal, so how about how shall we proceed? Should we elect a committee here of representatives from this community to go to the ENF and talk in representation of us in order to?
Yeah, we can start. We have this advantage that we have some of our members who are chief delegates at Eden on EOS, and then Eden on EOS is one of the most respectful community also, and then many of our hosts are members of the Eden on EOS community. So the basic thing we can do is to get just in Telegram, just to let them know we have a better way to use those fees. You know, it's a testimony of successful. I didn't expect, even the ENF didn't expect, even the community at whole didn't expect us to have a lot of successful with EOS EVM. It was not, and it's not an expected outcome. Now that we have this success with the fees, and then I would say the rationale about burning is not a bad idea. Don't go that way, because it was well thought. They had so many options, and then they went with burning even before the fees came in. Now that the fees are in, and then we as a community, we can express, I'll say on Telegram, say, let's not, even if just 1 year, let's not burn those fees at this point.
Yeah.
let's channel them into the program that already exists. I think it's the most effective that we can just, but there's not an official way to, as a community, we have like, one of our members is chief delegate on Eden Fractal. I think he can lead us into, because he's a chief delegate.
Pascal, I have just a little question before that Perry or Noam is going. Sorry, Perry and Noah. I just want to say you, Pascal, have you a link where it is written clearly that the fees will be burned?
Yeah, on the I may not send it now, but in our Telegram group, yeah, it's on the tokenomics, the token economics.
That would be great if we have this link, because that's I understand that you say, but I want a link that I can read and all, because before that we say something, I trust you, but I want to see, I want to read.
If we want to say something, it needs to be documented in the link.
Yeah. And also to finish something, we can also unofficially raise our hand here, just a signal like this, if we are agreeing, let's say, on the principle that the fees should not be burned. That should be already a signal. Sorry.
Maybe it's better to do it in a poll on Telegram. We'll get more votes that way.
So a couple of things here. One, we have the Eden plus fractal process where we make proposals, and then within 1 hour we vote there, and that's usually the way that we've approved proposals before. So I'd suggest that we could repropose this next week and then use the Eden plus fractal process. We could, of course, also vote on Telegram or on consortium. Last week when we did the Alien World recommendations, we voted on both consortium and with the Eden plus fractal process. So I think that sending a clear signal like that can be helpful. And I would suggest probably doing it next week, discussing it more, so that we have a time to look at that documentation that Pascal can share. I'm also curious too, I don't know if Pascal, you mentioned the amount of fees that they're having and so forth, like the amount of fees that they're considering burn.
Yeah, if you look,
know,
EOS.io EVM account, EOSIO.EVM, that's where the fees are being accumulated on the Explorer.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
It's a successful project. Just 4 weeks. It's not even 3 weeks. 4 weeks that we launched the EVM. So it's a successful project, you know.
April 14.
It's not even 1 month.
And they've raised approximately $3 million, or is that $3 million in fees? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's
enormous.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And I was interviewing Beatrice Wang this morning in my morning. Nice interview, by the way, Beatrice Wang of
Patrick, by the way, people have their hands raised. So if you're going to
jump in, that was totally on topic. So I would just complement what Pascal is just stating. Yes, we have a lot of fees there. I have speak with Beatrice. That's recorded. That will be released. So that's justified to send back that to the people that are contributing the most here. Okay, and not only us into this hidden fractal, to everyone into this EOS ecosystem that are contributing a lot and that have never been funded, never, because they do that with all their heart, soul, and mind. They have never been paid.
Okay. I think, by the way, I'm looking forward to watching the interview, Patrick. I think, by the way, the 3 million EOS is the total amount of EOS that's been in the EOS EVM. I don't think that is the amount of fees that's been captured. I think the amount of fees from that is considerably smaller. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I believe that just total of 3 million EOS that's been in the EOS EVM. If you could clarify that at some point, Pascal, I'd appreciate that. But I know Noam and Perry and Jorge have had their hands up patiently. So with that, I'll pass on to Noam.
I wanted to follow up on both Pascal and Patrick's comments and say that if we want to have an effect, we need to think strategically. We need to coordinate with Lenny, who's now in charge of Eden on EOS, which is probably more important for Pascal's goals than what we are. If we can get a vote on Eden on EOS, which has more members than we do, it might be more effective in making the point. And I think that part of the message we need to send is to people who currently pretty much control the ENF. Right now, it's the block producers, and they're not really listening to us. And they don't have a reason to listen to us because we're not contributing to their income. We are contributing to the health of the ecosystem. But people who are interested in their own benefit, which is what the block producers are doing right now, wouldn't really listen to us unless we have something else to tell them that makes them listen to us. And in that sense, I think that Eden on EOS can tell them, here's what we want, and here's why you should listen to us. And Eden Fractal would tell them, look, right now we're using EOS to reward our members. But if you don't give us anything, and if you don't listen to Eden on EOS, not Eden Fractal, we might decide to start rewarding our members with Trillium, with Poly. We don't make a threat because we're still using EOS. But we're also telling them, you ignore us, you're sending us to use other cryptocurrencies. And if we strategize with this with Lenny, I think it's important to send both messages in a coordinated way. It's going to be much more effective than Eden Fractal sending a message that should really be coming from Eden on EOS. Lenny is with us. Dwayne is here. We should have everything we need to coordinate a good message here. And that's what I had to say.
All right. Thank you, Noam. Very interesting ideas about collaborating with Eden on EOS. And well, I guess I'll just pass it on. I see Jorge clapping and Perry had their hands up and Jorge had his hands up before too. We have been going for over almost 3 hours now, so I think we could probably start wrapping up pretty soon, but can stick around for longer as well. But just want to put that with the time. I also have a question about where the EOS would go to. I think we need to clarify some of the specifics there, and perhaps we can work on that over the course of the next week. And yeah, so Rosemary said that the proposal needs more attention, and perhaps we can make a recommendation. Good comments in the chat. So thanks everybody. And with that, now I'll pass it on to Perry.
Well, Dan, you stole my question. You got it exactly. What I wanted to bring up was, I think it would get more traction, and it would develop the idea more if the idea of how it was distributed was kind of flushed out a little more. It's not an easy question, and it can be a controversial one, but I think more people would be willing to get on board if they understood how it was distributed. That's the big question mark. Okay, there's some extra funds around. We decide how much it is decided how much of that of those fees goes to the community. That's one variable. And then where does it go? How much does any of it go to Eden Fractal? Does some of it go to this other group? How does it get distributed? So I'm wondering, Pascal, have you thought about that part of it at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I think we can follow the same process as how the 2% inflation is distributed. Because as I said, this fees, it's not expected. It's not nobody expected to have these fees. How it was designed, they had many options, and then the options they chose in the economics was to burn it, which is not, again, a bad idea. I understand the rationale very well. the ENF has already a way to send money into the program that are running, the 2% inflation. It's already done. It's a multi-sig, it's running. It's already in the process. This phase is an opportunity for us as a community in the ground to say we need something, because we are doing things weekly. We have programs that people love. Pomelo, everybody loves Pomelo. Why not add this fee to the Pomelo grants so that we have more money? Because in any way, the ENF will have to support Pomelo program. So this fee is just an add-on on what we supposed to receive already. That's why I don't really. It's not like we don't want to fight. It's not like I want to come like it's an opportunity we have as a EOS community to take advantage and then grow, because the blockchain ecosystem, it will be difficult for the EOS to catch up with all the other communities if our community are not supported. So it's other blockchains are burning their fees because people will say, okay, look at Binance, BNB. BNB is burning his fee, is burning token, and then that's why the BNB token has a lot of value. And then my answer is no. They didn't burn their token from day one. So if we start burning these fees from day one, we lose like energy to take us. We can smart contract this and say, let's give us 2 years, and after 2 years we start burning them. But let's for 1 year, for 2 years. But it's a discussion matter. It's just like the simple message we have to take is, please let's not burn those fees at this moment. That's the how we do it. I don't know. We can follow the same process as the 2% inflation, because there's a process there already done. And then this one, we can follow the same. And then we don't need to create new programs, because the Pomelo is already there. Yield Plus is already there. Eden or EOS is already there. We are just adding the budget. That's the.
So you're saying that you would suggest that a fixed amount for each of these established groups get committed for up to, let's say, 2 years or something like that. A fixed percentage.
For the fees, because we can argue that. My point is, again, I do agree burning fees, because burning fees in general, everybody's value will grow, because you eliminate EOS on the market, the tokens, and you keep just the inflation we have. We have 3% inflation. This is stable. Everybody will understand it's 3%, 3%. But if you add fees that are coming in the system, like new money are coming, but we didn't expect that money. So that's the point that they can say we want an economy which is stable, which is everybody knows how much is there in terms of number of token. I understand that rationale. Everybody knows. If we take these fees, nobody knows how many token gonna be each month. So we can say to them, okay, we agree with the burning, but give us 1 year or 2 years before starting the burn, so that in the short run, as a community, we can benefit from it. We'll grow the community, and then at some point, we burn it. We start burning, and it can be done by smart contracts.
But how is it distributed within the community to each?
I don't have the answer now. For the moment, we are not there yet. We are not. Okay. So it's another question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thanks for all the questions and answers. I see Vlad's a nice discussion. He agrees the proposal should include system how to distribute the funds. I agree. And see on the fireside. Thanks, Vlad, for all the help. Also, Tadas had to step out too, but appreciate everybody being here. I think we probably should wrap it up pretty soon because we're just about at 3 hours or so. I see Patrick has hands up, but I think Jorge had his hands up first. So was there anything else you wanted to say, Jorge, before Patrick goes?
No, I was about to say pretty much what Noam already said. So I support what was said already.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Jorge. And then, yeah, I guess I'll also just say too, I'd made that proposal for discussing signals games, which I think can help with this a lot. I think the more that we can express recommendations and opinions for places like the EOS network and really all sorts of organizations, all sorts of people, I think many people would benefit and be interested in hearing recommendations from our group. So yeah, I appreciate Pascal you bringing this up. And I suppose because we're close to the time that I could save that presentation for next week and we can discuss it more then, unless people really want to hear it. But I think probably best to save it next week. And then I see Rosemary saying she's going to go. Thanks all. Great, Vlad. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Rosemary. Really appreciate you being here and sharing all the thoughts. If anyone wants to say anything before you go with audio, then feel free. It would be great to hear from you. And also, thanks, Pascal, saying you're going to gather more info and do more research on it as well for the EOS EVM. So thank you very much, everyone. All right. I suppose, Patrick, if you want to share something here.
Oh yeah, that's popping in my mind now. I don't know for you. That's a pleasure to be here every week when we can, because we share good vibes today again. I am happy. Yeah, baby. That's fantastic. And you know, in May 2019, there was already this problem of burning of fees. I remember very well. And there was a decision to burn those fees. Already we have a precedent with that. So I hope that will be not the same thing with this EOS EVM. That would be very not good for us on EOS, because then we hear about people leaving EOS for what? Because they want to go sometimes on other blockchains protocol, like Tadas, that is on an Antelope network, by the way, or Wax, that is also an Antelope network. Because of what? Because there they are recognized, they are paid for their work, and in EOS seems to be that there is not this incentives in place. So that's to us to be, as I said before, to push that correctly. Good brain, create a nice document with a good summary and with links into the document proving what we say before to go coordinated with Eden on EOS, with the two CDs, Lenny and Mo, and the other delegate level 1 that believe also in that. By the way, Pascal, are you a delegate level 1 into Eden on EOS?
No.
No problem. I am also not. But that doesn't stop us to contribute to Eden on EOS. Also, if you are not a delegate level 1, if you believe in the things, you can join the group created by Lenny and Mo about Mediacom or about other things. Today, I was not able to join. Dan, you were there. Rosemary, you were there. Rosemary is leaving, but she was there. So that's up to us to do those things. So I just want to finish on that. We are a fantastic group here. That's not the time to be depressed. That's not the time to be down. That's the time to be very proud what we are doing here. We are creating the process. We are strengthening them. We are joining. Let's say connect with Alien World. Alien World is connecting with us. We are connecting with them. So what else? What else? Cappuccino, vodka, popcorn. So I think we can close this one again with a nice hat. I see someone with an hat here. That's Noam.
Yeah, Noam's got it already. I'm ready to put on a hat too. But first, also, I'll just first check in with Eric and Dwayne and Lisa. I know you guys have been all listening for a while, and it would be great to hear from you if you want to add anything. I mean, no need, of course, but haven't heard from you in a while. So if you want to share anything, that'd be cool. Or else we could start wrapping up now too.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty clear discussion today. There's not really any controversy. It's clear people have their opinions. And most of it was said, okay, let's clarify what we did, put it in writing, make it a little clear and put it out there. So I don't really have anything to add today, but I have been listening.
Cool. Well, thank you, Eric, for sharing your thoughts there. And thank you for listening and being here as always. Really appreciate you. And I really appreciate Dwayne too.
Yeah, I was thinking I like the fees coming to instead of burning, and maybe there's maybe if we can sign something, maybe if we can just like do get enough voices behind showing that enough of the community is in support of this, it can be taken seriously. And there's always a give and take. Sometimes people are so excited about their idea, and maybe they've already sold the idea that the burning is such a great idea to help all stakeholders. But there can be a compromise, like how about half and half, right? You know what I mean? 1% better than nothing. So yeah, I like that idea. It gets them off the hook to like, after that, it's going to be the same thing that we hear is like, how are you providing value? So that'll be something we'll have to discuss as a group and see like, what metrics are we looking at? Is it the amount of people participating? Is it the services we're providing other groups? They're really needing EVM to work, and they really have a lot of money to go into GameFi. So if we show that we're already using that one of the biggest blockchain game in the universe is coming to us to figure out and do different types of governance, and that we have governance as a service, and that's going to be needed for all these new blockchain games. I was listening to two things at once, that the Wax is coming out with their own what do you call it? Anyways, there's some activity on Wax as well that they're excited that they might get more games. They have their own I can't remember them. Anyways, bottom line is, yep, great idea. I support it. And yeah, good discussion.
There is someone else who really supports this idea of using blockchain fees to fund public goods. And I just posted him on the live chat.
Totally.
The E in EVM stands for Ethereum.
Yeah, totally. I think if we do a coordinated, nice attack with EF.
Call it attack. Yeah, wouldn't call it attack. That's not the way to portray it.
Oh, no. Sorry. I want to say a coordinated good of the god, a good thing. EF plus AW plus Eden on EOS together, coordinated, but with real metrics by Pascal. All is on chain, not in the dust. That's great. Not in the dust. So we will do a coordinated good
initiative.
Okay, but you understand me. And we do that coordinated. Then with the two CDs, because Eden on EOS is giving more exposure now. The things are turning, slightly, but are turning. Now we can maybe have a voice. I hope that the BPs hear us. And I want also to hear EOS Titan tomorrow by GNOME, because he's a block producer at the base layer. And he was in Vorbly. So he know about the things. And Duane, nice comment, because we never know how the BPs are seeing the things. Maybe they will come with a good argument why they have choose to burn, and us we come with also our good argument. But then you have to make like a pendulum. Maybe we can do some kind of arrangement. Nothing is black, nothing is white. It's a yin and yang.
Maybe we will... asking for 50-50 is a little too ambitious. I think the main thing we should be saying is that 0 is the wrong number. We don't know how much Pomelo contributes and whether burning is better than Pomelo or not. But as long as it's 0, we won't know in the future either. So 0 is the wrong number. I don't know if it's 50, but 0 it is.
I want 80% and give you 20%. That's nice, like this deal. Okay.
We'll see about that. And good point, Noam and Patrick and Dwayne too. Great hearing from you and great thoughts. And then also, Noam, you didn't actually share who it was. The thought that came to mind was it might be Vitalik, and it was indeed Vitalik Buterin. the founder of Ethereum, and you shared a very interesting looking article with a video that he shared funding public goods and figured out the best ways to fund public goods. That's in the Telegram live chat. So
it's the first one I found on Google. He's been talking about it for years.
Yeah, I've listened to a few of his talks about public goods.
We have a supporter there, and we should leverage it. At least quote him somewhere.
Yeah, but Vitalik Buterin is not the good example. He's going every year in Davos Economic Forum in Switzerland to raise funds. Vitalik Buterin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Vitalik Satoshi. Vitalik Buterin, the only one, Vitalik. Okay, with the Ethereum blockchain, you know. So
not the only one.
Yeah, the only one. Yeah, he's going every year in Davos Economic Forum to have some lobby and to inflate the balloon. Do some new fund for him. That's not real money. That's like Federal Reserve printing money and creating debt. So that's wrong money. So us here, we are pure Jews, and we have to do the things right. Otherwise, I don't see the point.
Well, yeah, Vitalik, I don't know about his lobbying, but he does have a lot of
I know that
funding
because I
public
am in
goods that
Switzerland. I am in Switzerland, and I know how his work. All the foundations are based in Zug, in Switzerland, and you have the Ethereum Foundation, the Cardano Foundation, the Solana Foundation. The only foundation that has not been into the trap is EOS, because we are pure here.
Yeah.
Okay.
EOS in yeah. Best foundation. Yeah.
Absolutely, Pascal. Thank you to approve. You are a Canadian. I am a Swiss guy. We are brother. Okay. So, and Lisa is speaking French. D'accord. Lisa, you are d'accord? You speak French, Lisa? Yeah. Okay, d'accord. Okay.
Un petit peu.
Un petit peu. And Dan is also speaking French now. Say, nom de bleu, voilà.
Nom de
bleu. Nom de
Nom de
bleu,
bleu
voilà.
va. Yeah, well,
Nom de
we
bleu
were talking
va.
about that
Nom
at the
de
town
bleu
hall.
va.
Nom de bleu
Nom de
va.
bleu va means none of blue go.
Yes, exactly.
Nom de bleu va.
I like that
Voilà,
phrase.
nom de bleu.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I heard Lisa saying something. If Lisa, you want to add any closing words or any last thoughts, or we've been going for over 3 hours, so I'd say we should probably wrap it up soon. Lisa, you said you're good?
I'm good. Love you all. Thanks.
Okay, love you too, Lisa. Thank you very much for everything. Thank you very much, everybody, for everything we're doing. This is really exciting and another great meeting. Thanks, Pascal, for helping to lead the discussion with the EOS EVM topic proposal, and thanks to Tadas for also suggesting the MSIG, all the stuff we discussed there. Thanks everybody for all the great thoughts and feedback. Does anybody have any last thoughts before perhaps we put on hats and we say go eat and fractal as we sometimes do at the end of the meetings? Sound good?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Cool.
Let's do this.
Whoa. I would just say that if we came up with a plan of how to distribute, and we dropped that plan in
absolutely.
Hang on.
Let's let him finish speaking, Patrick. What's that, Barry?
Sorry, I was motivated.
And we dropped that plan in the fireside with the participants itself.
In the fireside,
which is basically a where that is our common space and where everybody is sitting. And if we have that plan and everybody gets to hear it and the plan kind of makes sense, I think that's a plan.
That's a very bad idea, because we have to speak with the people first, and then when the things are great, then we can communicate publicly. I don't think that would be the good place to go into the fireside chat and make a bomb.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if Perry was suggesting doing it right now. Perhaps
I know that he's not doing right now. He's very genuine, Perry. He's very genuine. But I want to say we have to speak between us, do a good balance, and when the things are good, then we can make a message coordinated and public and all. But
it wouldn't be an Eden Fractal meeting if Patrick and I didn't disagree.
All right. Well, I would say
that was never my idea to announce that into an Eden Fractal. If you have to announce that into somewhere, that will be on dnews.zone. I think that's the best way. And now he has left.
He's here.
And he has
All right,
his
Patrick,
hat and his
relax.
glasses.
He's got a hat.
That's the new Perry regenerated. The new
Yes.
version. You have Perry, and you will stay until the end.
Talking about me behind my back, Patrick. Naughty, naughty.
Okay, so
But your hat.
anyway, yeah, Patrick, chill out and relax a little bit here. But I did see you had your hat on, Perry, so I'll put my hat on back on here. Thanks for the suggestion too. I think that we should, over the course of this week, discuss this more in the chat and perhaps fireside chat or however we figure out is best. We can figure that out for next meeting. I like Dwayne's hat too. I don't know what's going on there. It's like a cool looking. Is that an antelope?
Wow, Dwayne, you're beautiful with
Is that
your
a fractal flower antelope?
Wow.
It looks like it's moving too. That's very fitting. That's awesome.
I am an antelope.
Cool. And Patrick's got some kind of antelope, of course, known with his classic orbit hat going around. Also, with a cool shirt too. Official team. Good to hear that you're the official team. And it looks like, oh, we have a cool hat. I don't think I've ever seen that one from Jorge either. So Jorge's looking stylish with a nice beige hat up and a cool stylish hat from Pascal too.
Oh, Jorge! Good
Okay.
hat from Colombia and Dan
cool.
from Mexico or from
Yes,
Dallas.
that's right. That's right.
And
All
Durham
right.
from the Galaxy, for sure.
Okay,
And
guys.
Perry from Costa Rica. It's Rica Rico. Ole, yay!
All right.
We finished this one.
Wait, all right, so we count 3, 2, 1 now? Is everybody ready? Everybody
Are you
ready to
ready?
go? Okay, I think we're ready. 3,
2,
2,
and
1,
and
0. Go! Fractal!
Fractal. That's not great.
Yippee!
Okay.
All right. Thanks everybody for the great meeting. See you next time.
Next time.